real sense. I mean, in every day, every little thing you do. It's such a gimme, gimme, gimme. Everybody back off. You know, everybody's like, you taught that from school, everywhere. Big business. If you want to be successful, you want to be like Trump, gimme, 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 push, 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 step, 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 crush, crush, crush. That's how it all is. And it's like, nobody ever stopped. Just, I feel like instead of us just being like, slavery's bad, slavery's bad whitey, bad whitey. I mean, all right, let's stop that. And everybody's smart enough to know that, I mean, we've been slighted. And we want ours. And I don't mean by like ours, 40 acres and a mule, because we passed that, but we need help. I mean, for us to be on our own 2 feet, us meaning youth or us meaning black people, whatever you want to take it for us to be on our own 2 feet, we do need help because we have been here. We have been a good friend. If you want to make it a relationship type thing, we have been there, and now we deserve our payback. It's like you got a friend that you don't never look out for. You know, you dressed up in jewels. Now America's got jewels, and they paid and everything, and they lending money to everybody except us. And it's like, everybody need a little help on their way to being, you know.
I started off with this message, man, because you know, listening to Tupac when you hear these interviews from him, it could be motivating. You know what I'm saying? It shows you how to he can be outspoken, he can be raw with honesty, you know what I'm saying? But it also can be detrimental. It could be self-destructive. It's more so there's a time and place for everything, right? There's a time and place for when you need to have that type of energy. You know what I'm saying? When you try to ask for help and you try to do things the right way and you got to stand up for yourself and say, hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going for it. You know what I'm saying? Push back. So going into this, I work, right? You know, I got a job. I'm a 9 to 5 guy. Um, I tried the street thing. I'm gonna be honest with you. I tried it. You know what I'm saying? I had my experiences with it. But what I learned with it is that it's a saying. It's an old saying. Um, when a thief steals from a thief, God laughs. It's funny. And what do I mean by that? When you have groups or gangs or cliques, you have friends, and everybody's out there living a certain lifestyle, you'll notice that they'll turn on each other. They'll go against each other. And once I saw that, I realized, damn, there's no real brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? You have genuine friends, you got genuine people that you meet, but it wasn't real a real brotherhood. So that kind of say, I had to step back and reflect and say, yo, like I could be eaten by wolves. You know what I'm saying? Even if I'm in the pack, my own dogs might eat me. You know what I'm saying? So I say, you know what? Let me go ahead and try to walk the straight and narrow. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? It's very challenging for a young black man to say, yo, I'm just gonna work a job and try to do whatever I can on the side to make things, because a lot of 9 to 5 jobs, you're underpaid. You know what I'm saying? So you have to learn a special skill. You have to become specialize in a certain area. Like myself, that's what I ended up doing. Long story short, they hired a young dude at the job, young black dude, age probably like 21, 22, and they partnered me up with him to train him on how to do the job correctly and so on and so forth. You know, so I'm like, all right, cool. I took him in under my wing because it's like, yo, I'm happy to see when I see young black people trying to do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? And it's a decent job too. This is a job where at his age, he'll be able to afford his own crib and his own car. Okay, you making more than 60 plus a year. You probably end up making about 70K a year. And for a young dude, no kids, I mean, come on now. In Florida, it's hard to get that without a degree. You know what I'm saying? You just got to get a little certificate, a certification, a license, pass the test. You got to put in work, but it's not like you're going to school for years. You can get this shit done in like 3 to 6 months and start making money for yourself. Long story short, all right, so I went ahead, gave him a tour of the place, you know what I'm saying, showing him where everything is. And we're walking through the building of the job, and it's a very diverse place. You got white, you got Hispanic, you got Indian, you got Caribbean, it's a diverse place. And we're walking through the hall, and he's talking, and we're talking, and he's like, damn, bro, these niggas crazy. Oh shit, I'm like, nigga. I didn't say nigga, but he said nigga in a way where it's like, we on the street. And I'm like, damn, I gotta do something. I'm right next to him. I'm black. You know what I'm saying? They're looking at me like, you the role model. You coaching them. You training them. How do I deal with this? You know what I'm saying? How do I approach him? So I pulled him to the side and I said, yo, my brother, what's good? I said, I know when we with each other, we by ourselves, we can, we'll say nigga, we'll say the N word, we'll use it, right? We'll use the N word, but we'll do it in a brotherly manner, right? And I said to him, when we're in a different setting around non-black people, and even some black people still feel some type of way when you use that word too. This is a work environment. Technically, if you want to be politically correct, you can't talk like that at all. That's looking at as vulgar. offensive, and you can be written up for it, depending on who want to make that complaint. So I say to him, I say, you gotta be more observant on what you're saying. You gotta be more conscious. And his attitude was like, man, fuck that, bro. I don't care about that shit, bro. You feel me?
Wow.
I can say nigga. I can say nigga however I want, bro. So I said, okay, you have freedom of speech. You can say whatever you want, but how would it look on your character? You're coming on a job. Remember, you got to pass evaluation. All these things are gonna go against you. They're gonna talk about your character. That's what they're judging you on. Besides performance, character. How do you move around people? And his attitude was like he don't give a fuck. This is how he talked. So I stepped back and I said, damn, I'm like, all right, I was young just like him at that same age, and I had the same mentality. Like, bruh, how you gonna tell me what to say and what not to say? But you gotta think about it. Like, there's a lot of older people that want to take the young, you know what I'm saying, generation and be like, look, homie, no, that ain't the way. That's not how you go about things. You know what I'm saying? Do it like this,
How they be sounding too.
how they be sounding, right? And then them YNs is gonna say, just like that, forget you. Screw you. You know what I'm saying? We don't care about what you think. I'm me. And I said to him, I said, so what's the point of working the job if you're gonna have that type of mentality? I said, we're already competing when we come onto the job. We gotta learn about the job, how to do the job correctly. We gotta know this stuff because we're gonna be challenged. They're gonna say, hey, we need this done, we need that done. And they're gonna look at you like, okay, do you know how to do it? Do you know how to get it done? And if you don't know how to get it done, you know what I'm saying? What's the purpose of you filling out an application? What was the whole purpose of going through the whole process? So I had to back away and I had to kind of like reflect on it and say like, okay, he's young. He's young. Will he stay at the job? I don't know. With an attitude like that, most likely not. If his attitude don't change. So I mean, I want you guys to go ahead and give me any suggestions on how you would deal with a situation like this. Any questions? I'm gonna leave a number down here, right? 'Cause I want your comment. I want your comments. You know what I'm saying? To kind of like reflect on this because as an older male dealing with younger males, I see the influence that we have, but it's like it's hard when you have a person with that type of attitude to work with to progress. It's self-destructive, in my opinion. But there is a time and a place to have a fuck it attitude. Yes, for sure. I mean, I'm not even I'm the one to say I'm not gonna tell you not to be stand up for yourself and speak up for yourself. But when you're in a good position, you have to have the attitude to try to like be good at that position. You know what I'm saying? Like to actually get in there and say, yo, let me learn everything.
Initiative.
Take initiative, man. Like for real, like I guess the perception is, man, I just want to get money and get out of here. Yeah, but you're not gonna be able to keep up with the people that's working. They're gonna look at you like you don't know what's going on. They're gonna look at it like you're bad at communication. Why are you around here? And then when they get rid of you, I guess sometimes that's what it takes. Sometimes you got to get jammed up to learn. Anyway, I want to get into our next subject. I also want y'all to comment on that one. I'm gonna leave a number down here. You guys can leave a message if you got any questions, any suggestions. Call this number. All right. I most likely won't pick up, but when you hear the message, just go ahead and ask the question that you want to ask. Make the suggestions to the show if you want to add on something that you think would be cool. If you got something you just overall want to say about